In the bustling city, an unexpected explosion drew everyone's attention. It was caused by a blue monster with two antennas on his forehead, eerily resembling our X's. The monster leaped into the sky, causing widespread destruction. The Hero Association was on high alert, calling all available heroes to confront the threat. Unfortunately, many useless heroes had already been defeated by this monstrous foe. Amidst the chaos, a bald man in a cape and an ugly yellow costume was on his way to face the monster. As he prepared to strike, the monster, known as Vaccine Man, revealed his origins. He claimed to have been created from the pollution humans had inflicted on the Earth, referring to humans as a disease eating away at the planet's life force. Unimpressed by the villain's backstory, the bold hero, Saitama, defeated him with a single punch, causing the hero to fall to his knees in disappointment because the fight ended so quickly. 3 years earlier, Saitama had been a man full of hair and life. One day, while returning from a job interview, he encountered a half-human, half-crab monster. Instead of fleeing, Saitama, feeling dejected from numerous rejections, stood his ground. The monster spared him, seeing the lifelessness in Saitama's eyes, and continued its hunt for a boy with a large chin. Saitama soon ran into the very boy the monster was hunting. After learning the boy had drawn nipples on the monster with a marker, Saitama was ready to walk away when the monster reappeared, aiming to kill the boy. Saitama intervened, asking the monster if it was worth killing over a minor prank. The monster, indifferent, attacked Saitama. Despite being thrown around, Saitama's desire to become a hero ignited. He defeated the monster by pulling out its organs using his tie. Fast forward to the present, Saitama remembered that day while buying crabs at the supermarket. His intense training since then had made him bold but extremely powerful. Suddenly, the market started shaking. A colossal titan, with his elder brother on his shoulder, was wreaking havoc. The elder brother had given the titan a steroid called Biceps King, transforming him into a destructive force. Saitama confronted the titan, and in a miscommunication, the titan killed his own brother. Blaming Saitama, the titan attacked, but Saitama effortlessly defeated him with a single punch. Walking home, Saitama pondered the lack of impact his heroism had on the world's evils. Despite his power, he felt emotionally distant, unable to experience happiness or sadness. Lost in thought, Saitama encountered another monster, Super Custom Yo 649 ZMech 2. Without hesitation, he destroyed it and continued reflecting on his life. At home, he cleaned his gloves, realizing that his heart wasn't in heroism anymore. He just did it for fun. The next day, Saitama woke up to an attack by strong monsters. For the first time in years, he felt excited as he faced worthy opponents. After a fierce battle, he defeated the monsters, only to be awakened by his alarm clock. It had all been a dream. Hearing a familiar voice from his dream, he prepared to fight again, only for the monsters to retreat upon seeing him. Saitama realized maybe sleeping all day wouldn't be so bad after all. While Saitama was watering his plants and watching the news, there was a buzz about a strange new mosquito outbreak in City Z. These mosquitoes were not normal, they were draining cows dry. Saitama struggled with one stubborn mosquito as the news announced a demon-level threat, urging people to evacuate. Meanwhile, a thief thought he could take advantage of empty shops, not worried about a few mosquito bites, but a swarm of mosquitoes attacked him, leaving only his skeleton behind. The queen mosquito, a giant insect, controlled the swarm and sent them to collect blood for her. Genos, a cyborg hero, arrived to fight the mosquitoes. He burned many with his fire attack, but the queen mosquito was tough and even took one of Genos' arms. She retreated to gather strength for a bigger attack. While Genos was busy fighting, Saitama was distracted by his own mosquito problem. When the queen returned stronger, Genos unleashed a powerful fire attack on the swarm. However, Saitama, now without clothes due to his battle with bug spray, casually killed the queen mosquito with one slap, leaving Genos amazed. Genos, impressed by Saitama's strength, asked to be his disciple. After sharing his tragic backstory of losing his family and becoming a cyborg for justice, Saitama grew impatient. But when Genos begged to learn Saitama's secret, Saitama hinted at his simple workout routine. Just as they finished talking, a new monster appeared, but Saitama quickly defeated it. Genos prepared for more enemies outside, only to find Saitama had already taken care of them. The action continued with a mole monster pulling Saitama underground, and a cyborg and a beast king lion monster joining the fight. Saitama, unfazed and annoyed about his ruined lawn, easily defeated the beast king with his consecutive normal punches, turning him to dust. After the battle, Genos questioned the cyborg gorilla, who revealed information about the House of Evolution, scared by Saitama's strength. It was just another day for Saitama, who seemed more bothered by the interruption to his peaceful day than by the monsters. Once upon a time, there was a brilliant scientist named Dr. Genus who made many cool discoveries. However, he got very sad because no one cared about his ideas to improve humans. So, he locked himself in his lab, called the House of Evolution, and somehow made himself young again after turning 70. He began creating new creatures by mixing animals and later started experimenting on humans. One day, a cyborg gorilla tells a hero named Saitama about Dr. Genus's work. Saitama just wants to know why he's being targeted, but the gorilla can only explain that Dr. Genus is fascinated by Saitama's superhuman strength and wants to study him. Saitama jokes, thinking Genus is romantically interested, but really, Genus just wants to understand Saitama's strength for his research. Saitama's friend, Genos, thinks they should attack the scientist's lab right away. However, Saitama is more concerned about missing a sale at the supermarket. Meanwhile, Dr. Genus is shocked that his top soldiers were defeated by Saitama and decides to unleash his most dangerous creation, Carnage Kabuto, to stop Saitama and Genos. When Saitama and Genos arrive, Genos destroys the building, but they find a basement door. Inside, they meet Kabuto, who has just broken free after killing some clones. Dr. Genus tries to convince Kabuto to fight Saitama and capture him for study. Kabuto smashes Genos against a wall and challenges Saitama to a fight in the biggest room they have. Genos tries to fight back but can't hit Kabuto. Saitama stands there, unimpressed. Kabuto, realizing Saitama is incredibly powerful, asks him about his strength. Saitama seriously says it's all thanks to a simple workout routine he did for 3 years. Kabuto thinks it's a joke and goes berserk, planning to destroy everything after killing Saitama. Realizing the fight is taking too long and he might miss the sale, Saitama ends it with one punch, leaving a mess and a shocked Dr. Genus behind. Genos reminds Saitama they can still make it to the sale, and they rush off, leaving Dr. Genus questioning his life's work while staring at the aftermath of the battle. There's this guy named Hammerhead who dreams of a new society where people can work if they want or just chill if they don't, and society will support them either way. He and his gang, dressed in stolen high-tech battle suits that make them super strong, decide to make a statement by destroying the mansion of the richest guy in town. But they'd mess up and wreck the wrong building. Oops. Meanwhile, our bold hero, Saitama, wakes up from a nightmare, turns on the TV, and sees this gang of bold troublemakers causing chaos. He's worried his bold head will get a bad reputation, so he decides to step in. Hammerhead and his gang, called the Paradise Crew, head to the right building this time. They're met by a rookie hero on a bicycle, Mumen Rider, who is quickly defeated. The rich guy, Zeniru, has a ninja bodyguard named Sonic, who is incredibly fast. When the Paradise Crew finally arrives at Zeniru's actual building, hilariously named the Golden Turd, Sonic takes out the entire crew in no time, except for Hammerhead. Hammerhead tries to fight back by throwing boulders at Sonic, but it's useless. Sonic traps him and tries to finish him off with a kunai. Hammerhead, thanks to his literal thick skull, survives and runs into Saitama, who is out to clear his name. Hammerhead throws a punch at Saitama, but it's as weak as a mosquito bite. Disappointed, Saitama taps Hammerhead, breaking his suit and leaving him naked, running away in fear. Sonic mistakes Saitama for another bad guy because of the bold confusion. Despite Sonic's speedy moves, Saitama surprises him with a painful attack that leaves Sonic vowing revenge as he limps away. Back at Saitama's place, Genos is getting upgrades from Dr. Kuseno, who wants to make him stronger than the much-talked-about Saitama. Meanwhile, Saitama is bummed because no one recognizes him as a hero. To make things worse, the news credits Mumen Rider for stopping the Paradise Crew. Determined to get some recognition, Saitama decides to become a registered hero officially. Genos, who isn't registered either, agrees to join him. Picture them sitting at a table, with Saitama squinting at the form, probably wondering if there's a box to check for bold and powerful. Welcome to the world of superheroes, where being bold isn't just a look, it's a statement. The Hero Association, the Academy for Heroes without the magic, and with more punching, decided to keep Mumen Rider at the top of C-Class because he's just too cool for a promotion. They're preparing for the 55th Hero exam with 11,684 candidates, more than a Black Friday sale at a superhero store. But despite the numbers, they're worried that the quality of heroes is dropping faster than my Wi-Fi signal. Enter Genos and Saitama, our dynamic duo. Genos is the serious student and Saitama, Well, he's the bald guy in blue underwear, making a fashion statement that says, "I forgot laundry day." Everyone laughed at him until he started breaking machines left and right with his fists. The other candidates probably went home to rethink their career choices. In the locker room, Saitama and Genos have a moment. Genos aced the written part, and Saitama, well, he aced being strong. Genos got into S class like it was no big deal, while Saitama got C class, making him wonder if they confused class with his grade in school. During the interview, Genos gets asked about some building he might have accidentally turned into a parking lot. He admits it, and boom, instant S-class hero. Saitama, meanwhile, is trying to figure out how being bold and breaking records only got him into C-class. At a seminar, they're the only two heroes who show up, probably because everyone else is stuck in traffic or fighting crime. An A-class hero lectures them about the noble hero life, but Saitama's just there for the free gum. The backstory of the Hero Association is like a comic book plot. A rich guy's grandkid gets in trouble, a stranger saves him, and Grandpa's like, "Let's make a hero club." And thus, the Hero Association was born, proving that money can, in fact, buy superheroes. After class, Saitama and Genos head home, pondering the mysteries of hero fame and whether or not they should start a podcast about it. Saitama then meets Snake, an A-class hero who's worried about being less popular than a new iPhone. Saitama reassures him with a fist to the ground because sometimes you just need to punch your doubts away. The next day, Genos wants to spar with Saitama to see if he can uncover the secret behind his power. Spoiler, it's not his shampoo. After dodging Genos' best moves, Saitama decides to get serious and nearly remodels the landscape with a punch. They go for lunch afterward because even heroes need to eat, and apparently, there's a food challenge. Genos wins the challenge, impressing the chef and everyone else who thought the special today was just soup. A May Mask, the top A-class hero, pops in for a chat, probably to talk about hair products or justice. Later, Genos decides to move in with Saitama, turning the superhero life into a sitcom setup. 5 days into his career as a professional hero, Saitama's biggest challenge was boredom. No world-threatening monsters, just his cyborg roommate, Genos, analyzing his every move like he was a living, bold mystery. Saitama couldn't teach Genos much, except maybe his legendary how to kill time by staring at the wall technique. Then Genos dropped a bombshell. Saitama's hero registry might get deleted if he just lazed around for a week. Apparently, being a C-class hero wasn't all about punching cosmic horrors. It was more about playing neighborhood watch and stopping petty crimes. Realizing he had to actually look for trouble, the small-time kind, Saitama dashed out, leaving Genos with some wisdom nuggets. Physical training is useless for you, go meditate or something. He also gave Genos a random goal: break into the top 10 of the S-class heroes, because why not? Genos, ever the serious student, took it to heart. Saitama's crime-fighting adventure was more like a scenic jog, not a thief or robber in sight. He came back home, probably more bored than before. The next day, he bumped into Sonic, his speedy ninja frenemy, who decided it was a great time to throw kunais and slash at him. Saitama, in his quest for petty crimes, ignored Sonic's dramatic entrance and even broke his blade with his teeth because using hands is too mainstream. Then came Tank Top Tiger, a hero who mistook Saitama's intense crime-searching face for a public menace. Before you could say misunderstanding, Sonic knocked him out. The day ended with Saitama accidentally resolving a high-profile crime by knocking Sonic out, and somehow that counted as work. Meanwhile, the Heroes Association was buzzing about Saitama's unexpected heroics and some other hero clearing out a hot spot. They sent Spring Mustachio and Golden Ball to City to figure out why monsters loved it there. They found a monster, all right, and got a little too acquainted with its tentacles. Mustachio, in a pinch, called for backup, but it was Saitama who showed up, casually defeating the monster and planning to use its tentacles for soup. Classic Saitama. The reinforcements arrived too late, only to find hints of a terrifying monster, or so they thought. The news twisted the story, suggesting another fearsome beast in City Z, but it was just Saitama, probably wondering how tentacle soup would taste. At the Heroes Association HQ, there's a crisis because an asteroid is hurtling toward Earth. They called Genos for help. When Genos arrives, he meets Bang, an S-class hero known as Silver Fang, who's a seasoned veteran. The HQ is nearly empty except for these two, as they're the only S-class heroes who showed up. Bang explains the situation. A dragon-level threat in the form of a massive meteorite is set to hit City Z in 30 minutes. He admits he's at a loss and suggests Genos save anyone important to him. Bang refuses to leave, staying by his family dojo despite the impending doom. Genos rushes to the city's tallest building to prepare his attack, but is joined by Beaufoy, another S-class hero there to test a new weapon. Beaufoy's missile strike from a drone makes a dent, but doesn't stop the meteor. Genos then tries his own powerful attack, but it's also ineffective. Just as Genos is losing hope, Saitama shows up, casually asking Bang to look after Genos. Saitama leaps toward the meteor and destroys it with a single punch, causing widespread destruction in the city, but preventing total annihilation. 3 days later, the city is in ruins from meteor fragments, but no lives were lost, which Saitama counts as a victory. Genos has moved up a rank, and Saitama has shot up to the top 10 in rank 5. However, Saitama doesn't get full credit for his deed. Beaufoy claims it, overshadowing Saitama's role. Wearing his costume, Saitama walks through the damaged city, noticing the destruction of his favorite supermarket and the untouched state of his former creepy apartment. He's then confronted by Tank Top Tiger and Tank Top Black Hole, who accuse him of seeking glory at the expense of S-class heroes and blame him for the city's partial destruction. The crowd turns against Saitama, swayed by the Tank Top brothers' provocations. As the situation escalates, Genos intervenes. Saitama decisively handles the brothers, calling out to the crowd in frustration. Genos suggests they leave, affirming his unwavering support for Saitama despite the world's judgment. A tentacled sea monster crashed the shore, but before Mumen Rider could even pedal his way to help, Saitama had already turned the monster into the seafood special of the day. The internet buzzed about a C-class hero who seemed to have cheat codes for monster fighting, taking them down with just one hit. Meanwhile, another wave of sea monsters, calling themselves the Clan of the Sea Folk, decided to try their luck on land, and City J Mumen Rider was on his way to face them, while Stinger, an A-class hero ranked 11th, was already battling. After a short-lived victory dance for defeating 4 monsters, Stinger met his match against their boss, who took him down with a single blow. Back at Saitama's place, Genos was multitasking between washing dishes and sharing the news of his rank up from C rank 5 to C rank 2 when he got the call about the sea monster invasion. The situation quickly escalated from trouble at the beach to a full-blown demon-level threat as the Deep Sea King began his rampage, knocking heroes left and right, including Lightning Max, who was saved by the S-class hero Puri Prisoner. Puri Prisoner, with a penchant for pretty boys and a record for the same, squared off against the Deep Sea King. Despite a spirited and somewhat revealing fight, the prisoner found himself outmatched and outclassed. Sonic, the self-proclaimed fastest man, entered the fray, showing off his moves until the Deep Sea King decided to level up his game, forcing Sonic into a speedy retreat. He even bumped into Genos, dropping a warning about the Sea King's strength before making his escape. The Deep Sea King then made a dramatic entrance into the evacuation shelter, ready to wreak havoc. Just as the shelter's last line of defense fell, Genos arrived, ready for a showdown. Amidst all this chaos, Saitama, ever the wanderer, picked up Mumen Rider's dropped phone, receiving a call from the Hero Association meant for Mumen Rider, advising him to stay back. Saitama, unfazed, inquired about the monster's location, probably already planning his one-punch itinerary. Genos was giving it his all against the Deep Sea King with his blasts, but it was like trying to knock down a wall with a feather. The monster took out Genos' right arm with ease. Meanwhile, HQ busts Saitama to hurry over to the evacuation shelter. Genos, down but not out, played the hero, urging everyone to run, but the Deep Sea King blocked their way, refusing to let anyone leave. Genos switched to punching, but the monster kept regenerating like magic. A kid cheered for Genos, which annoyed the monster. When it aimed a spitball of acid at her, Genos jumped in to protect her, ending up looking like a skeleton. Just as Genos became the Deep Sea King's punching bag, Mumen Rider, the underdog hero, stepped in. Despite his enthusiasm, he was swatted away like a fly. The crowd's cheers for Mumen Rider only made the monster madder, but before it could land the finishing blow, Saitama caught Mumen Rider, unscathed by the monster's punch. The Deep Sea King started boasting, thinking he was the star of his own movie. Bored, Saitama ended the show with a single punch, leaving him disappointed, and the monster, well, fried is putting it mildly. Sonic came back, ready to fight, only to find his opponent already turned into sashimi by Saitama. The next day, fan mail poured in for Saitama and Genos. Among the letters, Saitama found one accusing him of being a cheat. At a public celebration, someone called the defeated monster a wimp, sparking a debate that ended with Saitama being labeled a cheater. Despite the drama, Saitama climbed to the top of C class and got offered a spot in B rank, which he accepted. The bigwigs at HQ were left scratching their heads, wondering if Saitama was the real deal or just a lucky guy. Stinger and Max were chilling until Puri prisoner showed up, sending them running. The escapee found himself in the news as an S-class failure, which probably didn't help his mood. That night, Saitama bumped into Mumen Rider at a local food stall. Mumen Rider congratulated him on his promotion and mentioned a thank you letter he sent to Saitama, making it a rather heartwarming moment amidst all the chaos and confusion. After the fall of the Deep Sea King, a Godzilla-like monster called the Ancient King decided it was time to reclaim the Earth. Unfortunately for him, all the military's missiles were as effective as throwing confetti at a parade. Enter Tatsumaki, the S-class hero known as Tornado, who wasn't about to let some ancient lizard stomp around unchallenged. Just as Godzilla thought he'd crushed Tatsumaki, she zipped away and took to the skies. Before Godzilla could even show off his breath weapon, Tatsumaki called down a meteor right onto his head, turning him into a fossilized exhibit. Meanwhile, Bang, also known as Silver Fang, was trying to teach Saitama and Genos some wisdom at his dojo. The duo, however, saw him as a lovable yet batty old man. Genos had knocked out Bang's top student without breaking a sweat, learning that the student had gone rogue and taken out the competition. This rogue student, Garo, had put all of Bang's other students out of commission. Suddenly, an emergency summons for all S-class heroes interrupted their training. At the association, they met Atomic Samurai, who snubbed Saitama for being just a B-class hero. Tatsumaki joined in, mistaking Saitama for some lost kid, prompting Saitama to wonder aloud who the little sassy lost child was. Genos filled him in. She's the second-ranked S-class hero. In the meeting room, the gathered heroes were briefed on a cataclysmic threat capable of wiping out Earth following the death of the seer Madame Shibabawa. Her final prophecy was grim, leaving some heroes skeptical but the authorities on high alert. Before they could strategize, a winged demon group attacked the building, only to be cleaved into by another alien monster from a mega ship. This ship began raking havoc on the city, with an alien monster leading the charge on the ground. The city was laid to waste, and amidst the chaos, Atomic Samurai student was in the thick of it. Saitama, ever the opportunist, leaped towards the alien ship, effortlessly dodging its massive bullets. Inside, he started his one-man cleanup crew, while on the ground, heroes like Atomic Samurai, Silver Fang, Puri Prisoner, and Metal Bat engaged the multi-faced monster, which kept regenerating despite their efforts. The situation escalated to a god-level threat. Amidst the chaos, Tatsumaki told King, considered the strongest man, to attack the ship, but he declined, doubting his attack would reach. Unbeknownst to them, Saitama was already on board, cutting a swath through the aliens and searching for the boss to put an end to the invasion once and for all. The commander couldn't believe his eyes when Goribas, their top fighter, got knocked out without breaking a sweat. Now, only Melzargard and Jerrygunshoop, the octopus boss, were left to defend the ship. Lord Boros entered the command room to find Jerrygunshoop monitoring the chaos. In just 4 minutes, Saitama had turned 23% of their ship into space junk. Boros was shocked to hear one of his main guys was already defeated. Meanwhile, the news was buzzing about a mysterious aircraft. Prisoner was exhausted from trying to defeat Melzargard, who kept regenerating. Then Bang joined the fight, attacking the monster with swift moves. Suddenly, Melzargard sent a piece of himself flying toward the ship, but Metal Bat smashed it like a baseball. Jerrygunshoop learned about the uninvited guest and tried to recall Melzargard, but the S-class heroes blocked him. Metal Bat discovered Melzargard's secret, a shiny marble that was his weak spot. He told everyone to crush it. Meanwhile, Saitama tricked Jerrygunshoop into revealing his secrets. When the octopus commander attacked, Saitama shrugged it off and ended the fight with a single pebble. Saitama casually interrogated some low-level monsters about where the big boss was. Just as the artillery started bombing the city, Tornado intervened, sending the bullets back and saving the day. The ship was now barely functional. On the ground, Mumen Rider and a few other heroes were keeping civilians safe. Silver Fang, Metal Bat, Atomic Samurai and Prisoner were busy destroying Melzagad's last marble. Saitama finally met Boros, who had been searching for a worthy opponent to end his boredom. Boros told Saitama about an old prophecy that got him excited for a fight on Earth. Saitama's response: a punch that sent Boros flying, breaking his special power-sealing armor. Boros decided to stop holding back and went full power, charging at Saitama like it was Black Friday and he'd spotted the last TV on sale. Boros is going all out, tossing Saitama around like a salad, but Saitama isn't even breaking a sweat. He's just there, blocking punches like he's swiping left on a dating app. Boros tries to show off with his quick heel arm trick, but Saitama is just thinking, finally, a challenge. Meanwhile, Tank Top Master is trying to stone the ship to death, but Tatsumaki steals his thunder by using the debris like her personal toy blocks, making Genos wonder if she could take down the ship solo. Drive Knight leaves, whispering to Genos that Metal Knight is the real baddie to watch out for, leaving Genos scratching his head in confusion. Atomic Samurai and Silver Fang finally take down Melzagad, and now they're staring up at the ship like it's a giant piñata. The cleanup crew, Mumen Rider, Max, and Stinger, have got the ground game covered. Back in the space brawl, Boros is throwing everything he's got at Saitama, even bragging about his godlike recovery skills. But Saitama gets bored of the monologue and gets smacked into space, only to hop back from the moon like it's a quick trip to the grocery store. Boros is at his wit's end, throwing his mightiest tantrum yet, but Saitama's serious punch ends the light show, splitting the sky and leaving Boros admiring Saitama's restraint, calling him too strong. As the ship crashes down, the S-Class heroes are booking it to safety. A May Mask shows up just to give a performance review nobody asked for, criticizing the heroes for the mess. Then Metal Knight swoops in, probably eyeing the alien tech for his next DIY project. A May Mask does a quick cleanup of the alien survivors and exits stage left. Still complaining, Saitama and Genos are about to head home when Tatsumaki accuses Saitama of being a freeloader, which leads to a scuffle until Bane plays peacemaker. With City looking like a giant stepped on it, Metal Knight gets busy with some alien DIY projects, and the Hero HQ gets a makeover. Later, Saitama takes out another Underworld King with his signature one-punch, lamenting how easy it's become, and that's how the season wraps up, with Saitama still searching for someone who can actually take a hit.